Vibrant, kind-hearted, and full of life, 21-year-old Lilie James had a promising future ahead. As a dedicated water polo coach and university student, she was loved by her friends, family, and the students she inspired. But in October 2023, her life was tragically cut short in a shocking murder that left an entire community grieving. In this video, we take a closer look at Lilie's story, her passion for sports, and the devastating events that unfolded inside the halls of one of Sydney's most prestigious schools. Before starting the video, please hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications to stay up to date with the latest uploads. Lilie was born on May 21, 2002, in Sans Souci, New South Wales. Lilie had always been active in sports. Lilie James was an inspiration to her friends, family, and fellow students. She was more than simply a young lady who loved water polo. At only 21, Lilie's vibrant energy and dedication to coaching shaped her career and connected her with the many lives she touched. She was an under-17 swimming age champion and participated in dance as a child. Her love for athletics led her to pursue a sports business degree at the University of Technology, Sydney, while simultaneously working part-time as a water polo coach at the prestigious St Andrew's Cathedral School in Sydney. Those who knew Lilie described her as a bright, driven, and compassionate person, always willing to go the extra mile for her family and friends. She lived each day to the fullest, balancing her education, coaching, and a love of sports with an active social life. However, Lilie's promising future was cut tragically short in a devastating act of violence that rocked the Sydney community. On the night of October 25, 2023, Lilie was brutally murdered at her workplace by her former partner and colleague, 24-year-old Paul Thigson, in what would become a haunting case of premeditated murder and suicide. Paul Thigson, who had been working as a cricket and hockey coach at St Andrew's Cathedral School, shared a brief romantic relationship with Lilie. After only 5 weeks of dating, Lilie ended the relationship, but what should have been a routine breakup soon spiraled into violence. In the days leading up to the murder, Paul carefully planned his actions. On the morning of October 24, he rented a silver Lexus and purchased a hammer from a hardware store near his Kensington home. He later used the same hammer, along with another from the school storeroom, to carry out the brutal attack on Lilie. On the evening of October 25, Lilie and Paul met in the school's gym to hand over some sporting equipment. Security footage captured Paul following Lilie into the gym's bathroom at around 7 p.m. About an hour later, Paul left the bathroom alone, having inflicted fatal head injuries on Lilie with the hammer. Her body was discovered later that night after an anonymous 000 call to the police, which authorities later traced back to Paul. The police arrived at St Andrews to find a horrifying scene. The young woman they would soon identify as Lilie was unrecognizable due to the extent of her injuries. Paul, the prime suspect, was nowhere to be found. As the investigation unfolded, authorities confirmed that Paul had called the emergency services himself after committing the murder, before fleeing to a clifftop at Diamond Bay Reserve, a well-known suicide spot in Vaucluse. Security cameras captured him calmly walking through the area and disposing of items that were likely linked to the murder, including the murder weapon and his personal belongings. Hours later, Paul's body was found at the base of the cliffs after he had taken his own life. The tragic murder-suicide left the entire school community and broader Sydney in shock. Lilie's family, friends, colleagues, and students were devastated by the senseless loss of such a kind and promising young woman. Hundreds of people gathered at services held in Lilie's honor, including a live-streamed ceremony at St Andrew's Cathedral that was attended by students, parents, and staff. Mourners remembered Lilie for her positive energy, her love for sports, and her unwavering support for those around her. The murder of Lilie James sparked widespread conversation about the ongoing issue of domestic violence in Australia. She was the third woman in the area to fall victim to domestic violence that year and the 55th in the country by 2023. The public outcry emphasized the importance of recognizing the warning signs of toxic and controlling relationships. Experts, such as criminal psychologist Tim Watson-Munro, pointed to Paul's need for control and inability to handle rejection as driving factors behind the murder. Men who exhibit controlling behaviors often become most dangerous after the relationship ends, when they feel they are losing control. Paul's meticulous planning of the murder underscored the premeditated nature of the crime. His purchase of the hammer, rental of the car, and calculated actions before and after the murder showed a cold, methodical approach to the violence. Watson Munro likened his behavior to that of a psychopath, noting that while Paul's decision to take his own life was atypical for narcissists, it may have been driven by panic and a fear of going to jail for an extended period. Paul's third working holiday visa was also set to expire, adding to the potential pressures in his life at the time of the murder. As the investigation progressed, more disturbing details emerged. It was revealed that Paul had used Lilie's phone to send a text message to her father after the murder, asking him to pick her up from the school. This manipulation may have been an attempt to delay the discovery of her body or confuse the timeline of her death. It was clear that Paul had meticulously planned every aspect of the crime. In the aftermath of the murder, Lilie's family sought legal advice, exploring the possibility of suing St. Andrew's Cathedral School for gross negligence and breaching its duty of care. The family raised concerns about how Lilie was able to be killed on school grounds, highlighting the school's lack of nighttime security and questioning how such a tragedy could have been allowed to happen. The murder of Lilie James also highlighted the persistent issue of domestic violence in Australia. Despite the country's national plan to end violence against women and children, rates of violence remain alarmingly high. NSW Minister for Domestic Violence Prevention, Jodie Harrison, emphasized that while government funding for programs is essential, individuals must take responsibility for their behavior to prevent further tragedies. Lilie James's story is a heartbreaking reminder of the dangers of domestic violence and the devastating impact it has on victims and their loved ones. As her family, friends, and the broader community continue to mourn her loss, her memory lives on through the many lives she touched. Lilie's legacy is a call to action, to support those experiencing domestic violence and to work toward a future where no one has to suffer in silence. The pain of her loss may never fully heal, but Lilie James will be remembered for her kindness, her passion, and the light she brought to the world. Rest in peace, Lilie James. You will never be forgotten. Enjoying our content? Please like and share video with your friend, and don't forget to share your thoughts in comment section. Don't miss out on future videos. Hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications to stay up to date with the latest uploads. Thanks for watching.